Hello everyone and welcome back. In this tutorial I want to show you how we can perform simple input-output operation in MIPS assembly language in order to read a character from the keyboard or with a number, integer number or float number from the keyboard or print an integer number on the screen. You have to use a system call. So system call is used to communicate with the system for reading from keyboards or writing to the screen. A system call requires some parameter to be passed in a particular register, and a request or function number should be passed into the register V0. So these are 4 steps for using system call in MIPS. In the first step, we should load the service number in register with 0. This table summarizes the available services in MIPS assembly language. As you can see, we have a lot of services. For example, when you want to print an integer number, we should put value 1 inside the register with 0. When you want to print a float number, you should put value 2 inside register with 0, or when you want to read an integer number from the keyboard, we have to put value 5 inside register with 0. So each of these services has a value code that should be put inside $sign with 0. Also some of them have an input argument and the input argument should be inside register $sign a 0. If we have 2 input argument, we should put them inside register a 0 and a 1. And if we have more than 2, we should put them inside register $sign a 0, sign a 1 and sign a 2. For example, when we want to print an integer, we have 1 input argument and this input argument should be inside $sign a 0. Then we should execute the system call instruction. We have an instruction syscall, and in some of the system calls we have some output that can be retrieved from the register V0. For example, here when you want to read an integer number from the keyboard, the system code is number 5. So we should put value 5 inside $sign V0. We don't have any argument, and when you run the system call, the result or the number that you entered will be inside $sign with 0. Let me show you some examples. First of all, we have to create a data section and code section. In the data section, I can declare my variable. OK. Assume that I want to display a string on the screen. Let's see how we can do it. First, I should declare my string. I should give it a name. My str should end with color. Then the type of the variable, since a string is a sequence of ASCII characters which are terminated with null terminator character. I use ASCII that has the type, and the string should be enclosed by double quotation mark. Let's use the hello world message. Now I want to execute the corresponding system call. If you check this table for print string, the system call code is 4 and the address of null terminated. A string that you want to print should be inside registered $sign a 0. So load immediate inside $sign V0 number for the system call code, and in order to load the address of my string inside registered $sign a 0, I use load address instruction, the name of the string, and now execute your system call. Save your program and press F3, or from wrong menu select assemble. So when you see the operation complete successfully message, which means that you don't have any error in your code. Now we can run it by press this button. You can see the output of your code. Hello world displayed and program is terminated. If you want to rerun your program, you can press this reset and run it again. But for this example, any time that you run it, you will see the same message on the screen. Let's write some more practical example. Assume that I want to write a program to read two integer numbers from the keyboard, and after computing their summation, print the result on the screen. So I need to message I name them prompt1. Also, I need a message for the result. I need to declare two variable to a store. The input number, number 1. Fourth variable initialize with 0. Is a 32-bit variable. Number 2. For some I need another variable. Now print the first message by using system called number 4. And after we show this message, we need to read one integer number. In order to read an integer, we should use system call number 5 and the result will be inside, which is their $sign with 0. So no immediate color sign with 05 and system cost. Now I should restore this input number inside number variable. Number 1 is store-bought. The answer is inside the register with 0. So $sign with 0. So by this way, I read one integer number and store it in number 1. For the second one I should do the same thing. So I copy-paste this code. Only instead of prompt1, I show the prompt2 and here I store it inside the number to run it till this point. As you can see, the first front is displayed here. I should enter the first number, 1000. Now ask me to enter the second number 2000. And the program terminated till this point. Let's complete our code. We want to add this to number, but now my number are inside number 1 and number 2 variables. I will note them and store them in some temporal register. Now I will add them. This to register will be added to each other and the result will be stored in $sign history. I really started inside the variable sum also. Now I want to get this resolved. First I want to print this message. I use the system called. And in order to build an integer, we should use a system called number 1. The integer should be inside $sign a 0 so low toward a 0 and sum. System called code inside the $0 and system call. Let's run it. Enter the first number, 1000, 2000, and the result is 3000.